Hi, this is the first part of SAP Training Tips series. The original content of this series has been written by Charles Cave, managing editor of SAP Tips, and represented by Mostafa. Tips included in this presentation are helpful for SAP trainers and any ERP software trainers as well. Today's tip is about dealing with Joe, who sees SAP and says no, or his corresponding here. So, who is Joe? This is Joe, the first character here. And it is interesting to know that every company has a Joe. In detail, Joe is the guy who began working for the company right out of high school. He's worked there for about 20 years and now he is in a supervisory role in the warehouse or the plant. The problem is, Joe hates computers. He just uses cheat sheet to perform only those tasks required of him on legacy system. And despite the fact that Joe is very knowledgeable in his field and highly respected by his peers, his attitude toward SAP will be critical to buy-in by others. And the consequence? He is threatened to quit if he has to learn SAP. You know he cannot afford to do that, but his negative feeling needs to be handled now rather than later. And who is supposed to handle this? Second character here, who is simply you, unless you are not SAP trainer. You might ask, what is exactly my job as SAP trainer? To make long story short, your job is to roll out SAP training without rolling over Joe. But first and foremost, keep in mind that the upcoming tips are highly time and effort consuming. Therefore, apply them only with those identified as most critical to the company. And where do you start? Here are what you're gonna do. Prior to training, identify all the Joe in the company. And for each Joe, try to gain his trust or establish a rapport. And then involve Joe in a few relevant process and configuration discussions early on, so he has early understanding of how things will work. As the configuration process advances, give Joe a tour through some screens and transactions. You may need to tell him that you need his approval or would like his opinion of the transaction process. If you're unlucky and your Joe has not used PC or a mouse before, in this case you should enroll him in an education class or a computer store class, or if necessary work with him privately. Okay, let's move to the second phase, during training. Before each training session Joe will attend, take him aside and train him privately. This again may need to be under the guise of getting his opinion of the functionality or even helping you determine the scope of the training session. Eventually, take every precaution to ensure that Joe is not embarrassed in front of his peers. Well, we do a progress and now we in phase number 3, before go live. It's quite important and you may invest more effort here. In this phase, create a quick reference guide of the SAP transaction Joe will use. This figure shows a brief example of a quick reference guide for staff using SAP Apparel Footwear solution. As you see, the guide includes a description of the task, the menu path to access the transaction, and the trunk code for the transaction. Also, you can create desktop shortcuts, so Joe can easily find and access his important screens. And I will show you how to do this. First, navigate to your target screen. For this example, I create a shortcut to SAP Easy Access screen. Then click the Create Shortcut button in the standard toolbar. A new GUI screen appears, contains several fields with codes for the server, client, language, and target screen. Just enter a label for the new icon in field E and click Apply followed by OK button. Finally, a confirmation screen appears. Hit the Enter key and the icon will appear on your desktop. Simple and easy to remember. At last, give you a tour through his shortcuts, quick reference guide, and any other documentations. Well, we've reached the last phase, boss implementation. In this phase, provide you with a mentor who can provide support in subtle fashion. And remember to check in on Joe occasionally. You know, many users get through the first few months without a hitch, but they lose confidence as they attempt to perform additional tasks or master new skills. Last but not least, if Joe is a person who enjoys recognitions, be sure to send kudos, awards, just to bolster his confidence. That's all. And I think with these tips in hand, you should be well equipped not only to salvage Joe in your company, but to convert them into confident users and SAP supporters. Ready to get started? I suspect you have a Joe in your mind right now. Thanks for listening.